Hello, hello. Well, I am back much sooner than I had anticipated. When I made my last tag last night for hashtag 52 tags, I was talking about trying to find some inspiration to get me back into my crafty world. I sort of feel like I've sort of ventured off with the hustle and bustle of Christmas and all that entails, and just itching to get back into things and really didn't know what I wanted to do. So I had seen where Meg from Meg Journals is hosting Junk Journal January, and so I made up my mind last night. I'm going to give that a whirl. I've never really completed a journal as far as journaling in a journal, other than a December daily that I did last year. And I thought, you know what? This will get me in the practice of doing that because it's something that interests me greatly. I love making journals, as you know, but I want it to get me in the practice of journaling. So with that being said, today my plan was I'm going to make a journal for Junk Journal January. As I looked around my craft room, I discovered I still had this journal that I've never done anything with, and it was almost complete. It was ready for the signatures to be attached, but I never did anything with it. This was made from a series that Johanna hosted 2 years ago, because I pulled up the videos to remind me how I was supposed to attach the signatures. And it was 2 years ago, so this has been on my shelf for 2 years. So it's time to be used. So this series that Johanna had hosted is called Nameless Vintage Journal Series. If you like this style, it's very textural. There were many steps in making the, getting the finish on the journal cover. You can see there's fabric and laces, and we used stencils and painted it with different layers and all kinds of stuff. But I love this journal. I just never did anything with it. So anyway, visit that series if you didn't see it 2 years ago. So this is what I'm going to use for my January journal, my Junk Journal January. In Johanna's series, this journal was meant for 4 signatures. She suggested she does like 4 or 5 pages of signature. I decided to make mine 2 signatures, and I'll tell you why. When I was watching how you bind this, I noticed that it was sort of loose, and you were going to put 2 signatures to each set of eyelets here, so 2 here, 2 here. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to make 2 signatures, combine them into, instead of 4, into 2, and do 1 on each signature. So that's what I've done. Part of this series was sewing just random pieces of paper to some of your pages, just to add interest as you go through. You can see I have some plain. I just used anything I had. I left my strings on. So what I did, I deconstructed the signatures I had ready for this, chose some of those pages that I thought I would like to include, and then I supplemented, because I wanted this, my Junk Journal January, to be sort of plain papers, or neutral, if you will, so that each day I can make it whatever I want. So that's what I've done. So I have my 2 signatures ready. I think I put 8 or 9 pages. I think it was a total of 9 pages per signature. So I would have enough for the month of January. The good thing about this journal is you can remove the signatures because you're not stitching it in. And I decided I was going to go ahead and just use elastic, like a traveler's notebook style. I figured out how I could do that for the two signatures. But I think I'm going to share with you what Johanna's original binding was, because she also has you leave the binding long so you can, one of the steps that she teaches you is her bead dangles, you know, with her found objects and all that I think everybody knows and is familiar with her bead dangles. Very worthwhile series. Very worthwhile series. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and try to use that binding. And then if I don't like it, it's no big deal because I can always cut it out and then do my elastic. I don't think I'm going to keep this real long because I don't intend on making, oops, I don't intend on making the bead dangle, is what I'm trying to say. My words won't come to me. So I'm just going to cut a couple pieces of this. Now if you were doing 4 signatures, you would have 4 strings. And all she did, she took her first signature and her first string, put it through the middle of the signature, put this end through the top, the bottom through the bottom, okay, and then she took the top one, the top string, and put it through the bottom here. And see, she left her strings much longer than what I've got here. I might put a couple bead dangles down there. I don't think I'm going to do, I don't know, who knows. Maybe I will end up doing one of her bead dangles. And you're supposed to, now you got a string on the inside and the outside, and then you tie this as tight as you can to the book, to the journal. I'm just going to double knot this. And it's, well, that's pretty tight actually. That's pretty good actually. I'm satisfied with that. I didn't think it would be that tight. But nonetheless, if you wanted to remove any pages, you certainly can because they're not sewn in. I sort of like that. That worked out good, actually. It's much tighter than what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be loose. That's why I thought, well, I can always change to elastic if I wanted to. So once again, we just put your binding in the center of the signature. The top one goes through the top. I guess you could do this with probably ribbon or anything you would want to. The bottom one through the bottom. And then once again, this top one, you're going to bring down through the bottom again. Go through the bottom so you have that string on the inside and the string on the outside. And then I'm just going to tie this as tight as I can so that it will hold my signature in place. Don't you just love that lace in the spine here? I just love that. And with doing this type of binding, it allows for that. I'm just trying to tie this as tight as I can. And then I'll do another knot. And there you go. That's pretty easy. Actually, that's pretty clever, Johanna. Very clever. And then, as I mentioned before, she showed how you can do your her bead binding. Of course, she had 4 signatures, so she had 4 more strings here. I probably won't be able to do that. I wonder if I can tie these together, and then I could do something that way. I think that's what I'll do. I'm going to tie mine together here. Try. There, now they're all in one spot. I might be able to do one of those little bead dangles. I might try that. Who knows? Alright, so that's what I'm doing for my Junk Journal January. I'm going to try to do a video each day working in this. I say try, no promises, but I will try. I want to try to stay up with it for the month of January. And hopefully it would get me in the rhythm of actually journaling rather than just making them, but actually journaling as well. So I need to figure out what I would like to show through my window there. Maybe I'll do that later today. And then tomorrow I'm ready to start Junk Journal January. So there you have it. I will link Johanna's series below. And I will also link Meg Journal's information about Junk Journal January as well. So I hope you enjoyed the day, and I hope you also partake. See you soon. Happy crafting. Bye-bye.